we're good.
All right, so first up for me, I'm going to start with a mega cap here. It's Meta, and okay, so Meta held up really well this week, despite everything that was going down, and I think that's pretty likely to continue. It's one of the stocks that I'd say is least likely to test those lows anytime soon. Um, Only one that is stronger than that in that regard is Netflix to me. But yeah, so I like
Sure.
Meta in this spot. Let me give you some numbers here. And yeah, there we go. Okay, so we're sitting right here at what 119.43. I've got flow on this, uh, pushing it likely to 125 for weeklies. You start to get into the 130s for January. Sold puts are really, really strong at 116. So even if we do pull back a bit, that would be a good spot. Any ads like 112 to 116, I think will do pretty well. You got to be more careful on your entry if you're in the shorter expiration options, but like this to test 140 sometime in mid January.
Nice. Okay. Yeah, I got we fell out of like a 155, 192 channel, 150 to 200, however you want to call it. Um, Long term, I'm definitely looking for that to reclaim, um, especially if they get any kind of catalyst like TikTok being banned or something like that. I just don't think the flow read is looking that far ahead, but we're headed that direction off of this low. Um, I would add under, I guess, 125. Maybe 120 would probably be better. If we do get some pullback, that 120 to 116 range sounds pretty good. But it's a it's one of the better names, so up to 125 is kind of where I'd suggest, just for that run to the 150.
Yeah, absolutely. And so longer term, it's one of those stocks where um, there is a channel in centering around 200, plus or minus 30
Yeah,
bucks or something,
yeah,
that it's going to get into. I think regardless, with just doing what they're doing, I think it gets back to
yeah,
that.
yeah,
If their metaverse stuff, these big bets that they made, all this money that they're pouring in, if if that stuff actually does eventually pan out, like years down the line, that's where you start getting back into like 250 to 300, stuff like that. Like, I mean, so that's feasible that would happen.
yeah.
And that would be what it would take to me is just for all this stuff they're doing to get on track and get back up there. But my point is, for upside, you don't even need that
No,
for the shorter term to
no.
get back into this channel.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I think it's playable from a lot of different places. Yeah,
All right. So
116 is your number though. I like that number.
yeah. So all right. Next up for me is DDD, 3D
Triple D.
Systems Corporation. They're 3D printing, 3D scanning, that kind of thing. And this one, Flow just jumped out at me Thursday, Friday, as it was selling off. Let me give you some.
I got 7 and 10. Volume P.
So yeah, so I've got 12011C.
Yeah, it's tough. I like that.
Looks really strong, and the sold puts on it are uh, got eight. So 217 8P is a bullish contract, and then um, 217 9C, 11C, uh, 2024 leaps at 45. I don't know what that's about, but yeah. So anyway, definitely like this. Get back into that 10 or 11 range.
On the 1 year, upon further review, there's a gnarly shelf at 828, 820. But I think most of that is that buying on Friday. That last candle on Friday was ridiculous.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't know if you see that, but that's pretty
Yep.
stupid. That's pretty stupid. Um, look for continuation Monday. This is a Monday chart, Monday morning chart.
Yeah, I think it's a pretty quick tap and go from down here. So yeah, definitely one of my early week watches.
Yeah, I like this setup.
Um, all right, so next up for me, EGHT. This is I believe this is a previous
Four by
winner
four.
for us,
Yeah.
and just I'm not wasn't first and like super early on this, but it's just maintained a lot of strength here, and so I like that to continue. All right, so my numbers on it, one that stands out the most are the May calls at 7.5C, and 5P and 5C are bullish on pretty much all expirations. There's a lot of open interest on 2.5C, and they keep exercising those, which adds some momentum to it as well. So just like the pretty smooth climb is what I'm looking at here.
Another one with a um, late Friday banger candle. Volume profile 477 and 484 on the 1 and 3 year. We talked about that last week when those line up. Very, very good sign. Seven, you have a gap to like 15 on the 1 year, but 7 and 1150 stand out. So that's seven. That's seven. I like P.
Excellent. Yeah, and those contracts too. I mean, they're playable if you want to just get the May and wait it out. All right, so next up for me is
Th-
Hood
$3 million close candle on that Friday.
on that EGHD.
Yeah,
Wow.
that's two for two. You got that. Hood's on the list too. Let's roll.
Yep. All right, so Hood, my I always say like I like ads under 9, and you zoom out and it's like, well, yeah, but what if it dips back to like under 7 where it was, and the flow just says it's not really going to happen. It's not likely to happen. 8P is just extremely strong on this, so market wants to sell off, and we can get this at like 850 or under that. That'd be excellent. Really looking like it's going to go back to 10 to
20.
12 in January. So that's the trade and time frame that I'm looking at.
Yeah, I got 834 on this chart. Um, you want to look at this one too? This is the third one we've talked about. I want to make sure my system's not glitched. This got another boner candle at the close of the day too. Um, not as big as the last two, but it's there again.
Yeah, yeah,
You see it?
yeah, yep. I see
What the
it.
hell? Um, that's the consistency I always talk about. We just looked at three straight charts with that on it. Something ain't right there. Either we're getting played or we're geniuses. There's no in
Yeah,
between. There's no in between. But yeah, I'm with you on the eights here. 10, 1040, 1020 is your volume profile, so that's a great target right in that area. I kind of think these guys will get. I guess I'm hopeful these guys will get bought like Fidelity or somebody in the long run.
yeah.
That someone that needs an app. So I don't think they're going anywhere in
I,
that regard. Go
of
ahead.
all the brokerages I've used, um, you know, theirs is just it's so good. But when you start to really get into trading, it's not that great. But I just mean like you want to just pick it up and buy something,
Yeah,
and you're just kind of new.
yeah,
They just really it's just very intuitive. It's got kind of the swiping aspect that people use for dating or whatever. They got that kind of built into it. So they're just to me they're just worth a lot, despite their negative association with the AMC stuff. I think that they're gonna last. They're gonna have some value to them.
yes, yeah. And if not, someone will pick it up. 100%. Like
Yeah,
it's not
exactly.
a
Yeah,
go away company by any means.
right.
Good stuff.
All right. So next up for me, about what you see here, BHC, and this is a healthcare stock. It really took a beating on Friday, and again, these biotechs are always susceptible to news and all that, but really like seven to hold here, and looks like we're kind of in this channel. And I was looking for a sign that's going to break out of eight, and I've got 9C, 10C for January 20th. So that's the setup here.
It's there. Seven is your volume profile, but I think that's just because we've been down here for what, 3 months, 2 months, 6 months. We've been down here for
Yeah,
a few
yeah.
months. Kind of gappy after 10 on the 3 year, really gappy after 12 on the 3 year, about to 15. But 9 stands out, 10 a little less. I like the 7 to 9 play here.
Yeah, and just for a stock down almost 8%. When I look at the option activity for for Friday, the top out of the top 10 volume contracts on it, nine of them are more than 90% bullish. So that's a huge divergence, and that goes for the puts I talked about at seven, and then 8.5C, 9C, 10C. Those across a lot of expirations. So just really excellent flow setup. Not my favorite sector, but it's growing on me a bit. So this is kind of my next healthcare focus.
Yeah, I put 643, just looking at the way the daily pivots a little bit. Um, if the setup is like a B, right?
Yeah.
Getting it at 640 would make it an A. So that's where I put my line to make the trade A plus for me. If you get it,
Yeah.
if you
And
get it, you get it. If you don't, you don't. That's just the share side how that works. You don't force it at 750 here, in my opinion.
no, I agree. And I think when you're looking at monthly options, a lot of times I'll buy one and wait a bit. If the setup's a B, like you buy one, if it takes off, you do well in that one contract.
Mm-hmm.
Who cares? If the setup becomes an A setup, that's where you add like three or four more of those, and then it's kind of like a full trade, and you go from there. So I might dip into this and then see what the early week brings. But yeah, I like the setup for January. All right, so next up for me is a stock that I see in the flow a lot, and but just has been selling off all the way down. Might finally break out of this downtrend here is but high risk Nikola, NKLA.
Yeah.
And let me give you
They
some.
got news on Friday. They sold. Here, I'll pull it up. So I'm back. I think 6,000 vehicles is what I think it was. Where is it at? To Plug. Yeah, semi hydrogen powered semi trucks to Plug.
Hmm.
75 of them were delivered, and then they're gonna, and then there's some more. Yeah, they dropped some pretty good. Tried to be pretty good news. 17th Friday. So that was what that run
Oh,
was
nice,
for.
nice,
That was
yeah.
what that was for. Um,
Oh, gotcha, yeah.
they're not electric. That's a big point. So now they're a hydrogen company. Um, but yeah, I mean, they're gonna figure it out, and that they delivered some vehicles. I mean, either that's gonna break
Yeah,
them or it's gonna be proof of concept, right? That
right.
partnered with Plug. I like that. It's another name.
So it's the sold puts at 2.5, and then March 5C. That that stands out. It's in a spot where the bullish calls are going to be at around 2.5, just because of how the strikes work on this. You start to see some, if it claims 250 and starts to get into 260, 270, that's where you'll see 3C come in. But it's those longer range 5C. There's really no reason to buy those unless that you think it's going to go over 3. That's kind of what I've learned about stocks of this type. So
Yeah.
that's what I'm looking for on it.
479 was the bottom of our channel. That does make sense. Before they had a 3-month sell off here coming out of September. I'm just
Yeah, I mean, if it'll get there if it takes off and gets some momentum, and people start to FOMO into it, it could have that brief run. The quicker it spikes, the that will last. That's
yeah.
one thing to keep in mind about these two. And I don't think it'll be a slow grind up to 5 or anything like
No,
that with this one.
no. Yeah, just manage your sizing here. I think it is. I think you hit the nail on the head with it. Is kind of a lotto. So yeah, just be mindful with your sizing. 250 is kind of the line for me. Same as the calls, right? Get it under 250. But again, yep. be pretty mindful with your sizing. Don't throw 10 grand into this trade. I mean, there's a 1,000 share max type thing if you're a baller.
Yeah.
If you're a baller.
Yep.
If you're Zach Morris money, only put 1,000 shares into this thing. That's my advice.
Right. All right. Next up for me is IQ.
You like this one?
I do. Yeah. And the of the Chinese ADRs, especially communication, this one stands out to me. So looking for 317 4.5C is the one that really stands out to me. Just think we're going to continue to see this move. Breaks through 4 with some momentum. It'll could get to there in a day. So just keep an eye on it.
I have 4 on the volume profile, but we're just really thick. I got no read until to be honest with you, P, 575, it starts breaking out to 8. But until then, we just got a block of shares down here. So what I would go with is under 4 in this uptrend. This thing's rangy. I mean, you're getting 70, 90 cents the last 2 candles. So psychological level's probably more important than anything else. That's what we'll say there.
Yeah, that makes sense. And well, it's all about China, so you just sort of watch Hang Seng and see what that's doing.
It's got plenty of left. I mean, this kind of reminds me of Tall when I started talking about Tall, because I was looking for Tall to get into the gap, which we finally made it to, and this is kind of that same thing. It's just got this thickness to get through, but if we get into this gap, we're going to $8. I mean, yeah, as soon as we get above 5, this thing's going to 8. Yeah, Jesus, look at the 1 year. Wow. Okay, sorry.
Yeah. No, it's we've seen these Chinese stocks do this,
yes.
And so you can either be ready to trade them, or you can just kind of sit there with your jaw on the floor and watch what they do. But it's looking good, and even though these can collapse, I actually don't like to short these very much. I'll short BAVA sometimes, but these small caps is just not worth it.
It's playing with fire.
Yeah. All right, so next up for me is Lyft. Big previous winner, has been fairly quiet since earnings. Didn't fully collapse below those levels though, and starting to see potential turnaround here. I like 120 12.5C and 13.5C. Those are the contracts that stand out to me. Could dip below 11, but the sold puts at 10 are really strong.
Yeah, you're kind of 10 to 1250 channel here. I like that's 1250. I'd rather see 15s for A+. Still feels kind of backside without a catalyst.
Yeah, and I don't know what that catalyst would be. These rideshare companies, you want to look at their chart and want to know why they're not profitable.
Yeah.
So pretty simple, but
looking
for a recovery here. I like this. I like this better. Yeah, it's one of those things where if I could add this on Wednesday, I think that's when I would add it to the hot list. So take that to mean that it might be kind of a late week thing. But if we can fall to 1050, it's kind of like now you're talking. So
Yeah.
we'll see.
We got 4 solid dojis on the weekly. Last time it did that, it did it into ER back in August, and we went from like 13 to 20. We don't have that ER
That was the
cat.
last time I traded it. Yeah.
Yeah, we don't have that ER catalyst here, but we do have this same like four. These 4 dojis on the weekly kind of show you like that it's not going to go much more out of that direction without an event.
Yeah.
Last one was though 1075 to 1250. I'm sure that's real tradable on the option side.
Yes, absolutely. So it's they're cheap too, so
Yeah.
you can buy more of them, which you're trying to scale in and out, and you don't want to do that with um, really expensive mega cap options or something. All right, so next up for me is GME.
Oh, no way.
No, seriously. Yep, yep.
I thought we were gonna argue about which chart was better. I really did. You know what I'm talking about, the other
uh,
one, the movie theater.
I do, but I went ahead and added. I got both of them on here. So,
Oh, golly.
so GME. Obviously, like you look at the chart, and there's aspects to the chart that look bad, but it's the level it's at that to me is um, the biggest key here, where they're just really, I don't think, going to let this fall below $19. And the 19 puts are just so strong that that stands out. And then on the flip side, 25C for late December and 30C for January stand out. So that's kind of a setup for another run on memes. Flow can be tricky on this. There's just a lot of crap they do outside of Flow to manipulate these prices, but I like the risk reward with this being around $20.
Yeah, I got 1944. Just been waiting for it to land there. It finally did, and then I'm with you. 19. I had 1950. You have 19 on the downside. Same thing. And
Yeah,
2548 1 year volume profile. That's your target. If it gets going, 40 would be the next. But yeah, I like it down here. If you're gonna play this, now's the time. Um, if you're on the fence about it, I would be eating it up if it does dip below 19.
yeah. I think you can just add there and wait. My next one is AMC, and my strategy is a little bit different with AMC. In that, on the option side, I would not buy anything before April, because for whatever reason the whales are concentrating around April, and I would rather go 1711C. I'd rather buy that for $30 than a $60 6C weekly
Okay.
or 5.5C weekly. I think this might take a little bit of time. I don't know that it's going to bounce back to $11, but a move to 8 or 7 with in relatively near term is going to double or triple those options just with how the Greeks will flip in your favor on it. So that's where I like that. A lot of the activity at 4P has flipped bullish, so don't think we're going to see a breakdown to that. Of course, could happen, but just like the ads near as close as to 5 as you can get.
Yeah, I'm still on the we're not seeing fours. But we're in no man's land for me until about 7. That you have 11s. I like this better than I did before we started talking. Um, 7's huge for me though right now, Professor. That 5 and the 5-7's tradable, in my opinion.
Yeah, and and by the way, like if you want to just be patient and wait for that upside confirmation, if like that's sort of your risk profile for trading, um, you still would want to watch list that April 11C. If you miss the move on it from 30 to 60, whatever, but you could very well catch a move from 60 to 120. So, $60 to $120, like for the contract, once you get that confirmation of the upside, and then we spike to 9 or whatever. So yeah, there's a lot of different ways to play this. Not exactly a stock where it's easy to call the bottom, but
Possible.
again, it's all about the risk reward. So I wouldn't even call it a lotto. This is just like a swing trade to me. That's
Um,
my risk assessment on it.
Real quick, fair market value on both of them. I'll go first if you want.
Yeah, go ahead.
So AMC, I'm gonna say $6 right now. I think if things get back to normal, they're $15 to $17 stock, and GME is probably worth about $7 right now. If we get back to normal, it's probably a $14 to $17 stock.
Yeah, I'm pretty much with you. $1,000 per share as well. No, yeah. So I think like 12 bucks for AMC
Okay.
kind of
Okay.
stands out to me. About uh, 16 to 20 for GME, something like
Okay.
that.
Okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
I want to get that out there so people have a realistic expectation of where these probably should be or should settle at.
Yeah, but I do think if the quote unquote quote movement, sort of still has life in it, like to where people have some belief, that's where you can add 5, 10, 15 bucks to the price of the stock
Sure.
if it has a big following that it can maintain.
Definitely.
So
Definitely.
that's where it's like book value plus some. Tesla, same thing to me. Like the sort of the cult following to it
Yeah.
can
Yeah.
add value to it in good times. So yeah.
Agreed.
All right, then next up for me, let's get some boring stuff going. Okay, so tech to me
Oh,
just really screams $40 to $45 move. So I like it to break 40, make a move to 45. This is all happening in January and February strikes. So a lot of upward momentum. 40 is a magnet to the upside, and then I think it can break through that.
yeah. If you have 33 sold puts, I'm just playing the trend. That's kind of where I was at on that. It's an RTL trend play. This thing's going to continue. To 45 was my number as well. So it feels like one of
Yeah.
those
Sold puts at 35 are bullish on it.
30, even better.
Yeah.
Is there
Now,
even is there 33s? Like is it an available strike? That's what I'm asking.
um,
I guess I could look just as easy as you, lazy ass. No, it's weird. Well, no, it does. It does. It has 50 cents. It's 50 cents, P. Okay. Okay.
so one of the things I'll say about this sector in particular, with the sold put thing. So sold puts are sort of like a way to make money. It's a way to control shares. It's a way to protect a stock. If a stock is bullish to the upside in the calls, they sometimes don't feel the need to do that as much. Like they're just gonna just ride the wave up, and they don't have to protect it against as many pullbacks. So that's a lot of times when they're wanting to slow down a sell off or just sort of anchor a stock as it's going up. That's where you'll see the sold puts come in. So in this particular setup, it's the calls that are kind of dominating the situation. And the other thing about this that really got my attention is all the Friday volume, like 90% of the Friday volume happened in the last 15 minutes of Friday.
Yeah.
So that definitely says something to me.
It doesn't say they was on MSNBC or yeah, MSNBC. They was on MSNBC Friday.
Oh, that's nice. Yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
like these guys though. I'm with you. I just think we test all time highs again in a boring sector.
Yep.
We're gonna probably be pounding the table a little bit more on the boring stuff in 2023.
Yeah, definitely with you there. All right, next up is I guess it's the Chili's Eat.
Mm-hmm. We danced around this
Another
one for a while.
yeah, another previous winner. We probably could have gotten back into this under $30. Um, but yeah, I don't think we really missed too much of a move. So 40 stands out in the January calls. We started getting into 45s in March and April. So
Let's go.
just like it to maintain this trend.
Yeah, I got 43.39 on the upper level, but on the new upper level, so that matches the top end target. But 34.96, it was the top of our channel, original channel. We've been confirming that for 3 or 4 weeks. Um, so whenever the flow
Yeah.
says go, I would probably follow that.
Yeah, and it's one has monthly options, so I just we're in a good spot if you want to swing something for January. If you want to lower your risk a bit, February. But yeah, like 40C on that. All right, so then next up for me is Chewy,
Yes.
CHWY. Now, one thing I like about Chewy is that we've been talking about how flow is kind of ugly on a lot of like tech mega caps, and that we could see some big selling. But Chewy often does its own thing and doesn't
Mm-hmm.
respond to the overall market as much. When if you like to play the upside, that's a really good thing. And I still think this is just for the whole longer term outlook. I think this is a good spot near $40. The flow on it, I like December 30th 50C, and I've got March and April calls above 60, so very doable for this stock.
We kind of just talked about the cult based following. These are what I like to call cult based light, where they have an extreme cult. It's not like everybody, but the ones that there, they will wear the T-shirt, put the sticker on their car, and only order their dog food from them. Um, totally 100% agreed with the professor. This chart moves on its own accord. That's the reason I like it. I don't have a dog, cat, or any animal like that. But I love the way this chart moves. 42.37 top of our channel, 32 the bottom. Again, we've been here for about a month confirming, looking for that leg up. Perfect though. I like it a lot, P.
Yep. And yeah, so ads. Don't know that we'll get a dip to 40. If we do, great spot. Otherwise, you can just look at the pre-market low and
Yep.
go from there, I think. All right, so next up for me is Lemonade.
I was
And
hoping it made it.
yeah, so it's one of those like we start talking about it now, or all of a sudden it's $20 again, and it's like, damn it, why didn't I get into Lemonade? That's what happened to me last time on it. But all right, so let me call up some strikes here. So this short term, to me, whales very much want to get this back to around $18, which in and of itself, if you're in options, is a pretty good move. But that's not like the move to me. So what I actually see it probably doing is getting into, I see 20C to 24C for January, February. So kind of needs to reclaim that 18 area, and then we go from there. This can break out well past that, can break into the 30s. It just sort of depends on the momentum it can pick up along the way.
Yeah, 16.36. Started flirt with that Thursday, Friday. Back to 22, which is dead center of your 20 to 24 range. Yeah, our last time we ran out of here was 30.35. As long as we don't break the 15 psych, this is in play and A plus for me.
Yeah, and there's some put momentum to 1550. It's not as strong as the as the bullish strike. So so I kind of like this to hold, and I especially like that level to hold just because if they were wanting to break it down further than that, I would expect to see some 14s and some 12s.
Yeah.
And for the longer term, there's no activity on that in January. So,
Our
so yeah, so I think this could dip a little more. Might need to be a little patient with it, but again, the when you're set up, when there's more room up than down,
yes,
kind of obvious, but that's what you want in a
yes.
trade. So that's where
Uh,
we're at.
your May low was 15.99. So I mean that's a perfect psych level. I definitely watch for strength around that. Like if 16 just won't give up, that's a big signal to enter. If we do get into the 15s again, um, that's when you're going to let it want to consolidate and just play the daily levels, catch it when it comes back up. But I'm totally with P. This got 50% range easy.
And it's another one that does its own thing because
Yeah.
you'll see a day where SPY might be down 2 or even 3%, and this will be flat or it might be a little green. Um, and days where SPY is just up a little, it's up 6-8%. So it's yeah, you can trade it without looking over your shoulder at the 5 minute chart,
Yeah.
and not every stock is like that. So
It's it's
another reason I like it.
it's Beam with flow reads.
Yeah, no, absolutely, yeah.
That's how I see it.
Yeah, and also longer term, not the best environment for this
Insurance.
insurance disruptive tech or whatever that the kind of new sort of insurance companies. But I think their whole earnings reports and um, the outlook for the company, I do kind of like them. I don't know, it's not going to get back up to $180 or anything like that, but yeah, I mean, this could be a $35 to $50 stock, I think. So
Yep.
in that regard, I like them too.
Love it. Love it.
All right, so then it's getting really interesting again is Enphase.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, that's on that 300 level.
So I like several times, like I don't really like to short Enphase. Well, I shorted it like 5 times this week and did well on it. But again, I still like the the upside here, and just that idea that it's going to just keep hitting those all time highs. I think it certainly can do that. As far as levels and all that, the 300 bounces have been really good. There's some potential here if the market takes a turn down, that you could see this hit about 280. And if we do get this kind of big selling early in the week, and it were to dip below 290, this setup becomes A plus because of the fact that I have so much activity in January, February at from 370C to 400C.
Okay.
So
Okay.
and that sounds kind of crazy, but this
Nah.
this is a stock that can do that. So worth watching in that regard.
I got two lines on this chart: 284.95 and 368. So 285 and 300, which is exactly what you just mentioned. Um, for everybody in this group, you kind of let the one ride in the bull lead the way. And Professor, if you see my cursor on this goddamn screen, right around here said this thing's going to 250 and then back to 300. And I legit watched it go to 250 and back to 300. So he's got this one. Whatever he sees, he can read it better than most plays, I would say. So follow this one. I like it a lot, especially that it lines up to levels I've had on my chart since you first got on it. So yeah, good stuff. I mean, really, what I'm trying to say is great stuff, P. Because I don't think you could have done much better here.
Appreciate it.
I don't think you could have done much
Yeah,
better
thank you.
here.
Appreciate that. So the options on it are pricey, but I think because of the conviction of the read and all that, I do play weeklies for the first 3 days of the week, and then I go to the next week. And I will say also that if you want to lower the cost of the trade a bit, you can go pretty far out of the money on this. The Greeks are favorable enough that that those move nicely too. So if you want to go a few weeks out and play it like $20 out of the money, that you'll be fine there as the underlying moves. So the setup's good there too. All right, so I got two more. I got Sun Power. So I got another solar play, SPWR, and really like this one to hold that $20 level. See it move back to 24 to 26 in the January calls.
Is this not in my big? This must not be in my big list. 2156, 2715. We're right on that 2156. 17's your volume profile. Yeah. If you have 17 sold puts or sold puts above 17, it's there.
Yeah, let me check that real quick.
Is this not on this guy? I need to add this if it's not in here. No, it's in there. I just missed it.
Yeah, so I got sold puts at 16, 17, 18 for 1.16.
Ship it.
Yeah.
What was your high end again? Sorry.
So I've got 25 50 for 113, and I've got 27 for February.
Ship it. Golly.
Yeah.
These some of these, not all of these. Some of these feel like what I think I said in, it might have been September, about, it was more in a question, was like, can you see these guys like loading up in anticipation that something's going to happen over and over again? You know, like they're just kind of always preparing 3 months ahead. And it kind of seems like we're in that cycle. It really does. So finding the ones that are on good
right.
levels.
Well, and with the current of our any news about solar is going to be likely to be good news, just in terms of legislation or credits or whatever. So
okay, perfect.
So yeah, so solar remains. If I had to pick like a top 5 sectors for 2023, solar would be one of them.
Yeah, so my point is they don't know when. They just believe it's going to happen and keep hedging themselves forward 3 months. So when it does happen, they're already there. That's kind of what it feels like.
Exactly.
And that's not just solar. That's a ton of things.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Okay, perfect.
All right, so last up is Ally, ALLY. This again was one of those, like I threw it in collab the other day, and was kind of just curious about it. We've sold off more since then, but the flow setup I have on it, I kind of think whales want this to be around $26 for a move to 30 is what I'm seeing, and mostly in January. So might sell off a bit more to start the week.
If Professor's on his phone, there is no way he's looking at my screen. I'm just going to say that right now.
Yeah.
24.49, which is right where we are. 26.92 is my line on the chart. And 30 is volume profile on the 3-year. Let's go. I mean, you knew it was A+ from my side because it's on my list, right? I mean, so of course. But that it's A+ and you have the same numbers is crazy.
Right. It's another company, smaller financial services stock that has taken a beating with banking, has taken an extra beating being sort of tech oriented, but is, I think, survivable, and I like $40, and the leaps say this is going to go to 40 eventually. So we'll no idea when, but that's sort of where I see it.
35, 37 is your 250 EMA on the weekly. I mean, so it's not like we weren't just there.
Right.
I got a question for you, Pete. Did you come up with all of these without even glancing at my list, or did you
It,
read the?
yeah, I put that in collab. I'm like, there's like nine that match
Are
up,
you
and
serious?
it's all just flow. It's all just my filters.
That's
So
great. Hey, bro, we've worked
yeah,
our ass off this last year. This shit's bound to happen.
yeah,
I
yeah.
mean, that's my goal is to collaborate with you, not do my own thing. Like I can do my own thing in notes, right? But here, it's always
Right,
been
right.
about bringing us together, finding a good pool of things that constantly tell us the same things over and over again. And this is ridiculous.
Yeah, yeah,
I got 12. You have 12 off my list. 12. Over
yeah.
half.
But yeah, the only late addition was GME, and I was on the fence on it, but the your level gave me the kind of extra push. Flow was there; it's going to be in my notes regardless. But yeah, that was the one I added.
Nice. Mine was 8. But
Ah, yeah, yeah.
previous winter, I was like, no, let's get on
Right,
that one because
right.
I did that one. I also didn't read the flow. I didn't have the level the first time the flow brought it, so I that note again, right? Follow flow into these plays that are usually flow first. So perfect. All right, let's do the hot list. Man,
Yeah.
I'm
So I'm going to
excited.
be a little picky on the. Yeah, I'm going to be a little picky on what we take off, just because, um, I don't want too many, and also, some of them that are on here, it's like this worked, we won with it. If the setup happens again, trade it again, but we don't have to
Yes.
have it on the list. Yeah,
Yeah. No, I would love to get it under 30
yeah,
regularly, um, and use other outlets, right? Like we talked about earlier. So,
yeah, yeah.
symbol up. Airbnb would be first. Let me grab my list because I've already know which ones I'm going to argue
Um,
about.
yeah, I don't have a particular reason to keep it, but we'll be back for it because
Yep,
I think this is going to have a good first quarter.
perfect. ACI, hot stove,
Um,
hot stove.
yeah, yeah,
I think the merger is going to happen eventually, and you're just not going to be able to time it. I don't know
right.
if you think that, but
Yeah, no, that's exactly what I think.
oh, okay. AMRS.
Yeah, yeah, we want to.
Yeah, I don't know what to tell people. Just add under 177 and wait.
Yeah.
it's I mean it's undefeated so far. Amazon.
Yeah, actually, I do want to keep this. But I would say I'm bearish on it to start the week.
Yes.
Um, Probably going to see 85 or 84 on this, but like it to reverse around there. Last week, absolutely I said 88, and that was
You killed
exactly
it.
where it bounced.
You killed it. Yeah.
Went all the way to 95, and
Yep.
then got caught up in the market conditions. So this is one that very much is all about the larger market, but really good option day trade candidate.
Yeah, kind of feeling like the Facebook chart to me, just from a chart standpoint. We let that one go. I don't like Facebook as much as I like Amazon. I have
Yeah,
80 94, so like 81 82. I'm a buck or two below you. Same thesis though. That's where you're going to want to add long term. I just really don't see much of a dip below 80 here. I just don't. Um,
yeah. And if you're a long term person, like DCA around here, is fine. I mean, what's $2 a couple years from now? But yeah. So the
we'll
best
get
possible entries are going to be somewhere under 85, and I think we do see that.
if you're DCAing in this, I'm giving myself a big window. That's a smart. I mean, you don't want to give yourself a small window on a DCA and then get outside your window. So you want to have a plan
Exactly. Yeah.
for a big window. So I'm like 85 to 70 on this thing, and just pick percentages every $4 or $5. I'm gonna at
Yeah.
85, I'm gonna drop 10%. At 80, I'm gonna drop 25%. At 80, at 77, I'm going to drop another 25%, and just give yourself some room to kind of get in there.
Yeah, and then you'll just be sitting pretty when it's back at 110, 120, which is it will get there. Just who knows when.
or we're dying.
Yeah.
um, AR.
AR. So I'm just gonna take the win. I think we could check back down to like 32. So I don't really for a weekly hot list. Don't really want to wait that out. Gonna return to this one a lot though.
100%. Same page on that. Baba.
Yeah, we should keep Baba. Could potentially break down 85, 84, something like that, but China's just going to stay active. And this actually, I follow Baba instead of the indices on China intraday as just
Yeah,
kind of the barometer for Chinese stocks.
I like that. I like that theory. Bros.
Yeah, I like Bros. 28's my absolute floor on it. Um, Flow takes it back to 36 to 40 in January.
You want to keep this? Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, it's on the trend line. I like it. That I'm with the same number, 32. We're fighting 32 in a trend line here. I have 40 in the long run. CDE.
Um, I'm gonna take it off for now.
Yeah, I'm a fan of staying away from miners unless they're super oversold.
Yeah, yeah,
CLF.
yeah. Give me 260 again on
Yeah,
CDE. I'll be all over it.
there you go. CLF.
Yeah, yeah. The steel
Keep it.
is one of the bullish sectors that stands out to me, and it's lagging behind X a bit. So you're gonna see this at 16, $17 fairly quickly.
If I was full port in anything right now, this would probably be it. Not
Yeah,
because I'm going to make $1 million, but because this I feel like this would be the most protective place to put my money currently, or off the top of my head. Like if I had to put every penny in the stock market next week, this would be a place I put
yeah. That's how whales are feeling. Basic
it.
materials stands out big time.
And that's how they look. How can I protect my money while still making 2 to 3% on it?
Yep, yep.
Coin.
Yeah, I don't have a reason to hot list coin. I don't particularly. I'm bearish on it. I don't like to short it down here either. So I need it to spike back to 40 before I short it again. And then at that 40, that's a decision point too, where you might actually see it go to the upside. Not likely, but can happen. So I'll be on coin. It'll be in my notes, but don't need to hot list it.
My lawyer said to only say one thing about coin: book value. All
Yeah,
right,
yeah.
done. Crocs.
Uh, I feel like the longer Crocs hangs around $95, the more likely it is to see 110, and that the flow kind of matches that too. Um, don't quite
Stove.
know when. I think we might bounce around a bit. But
I got
yeah,
93. That's my spot. You want to stove it,
yeah,
kill it, or
yeah,
come
yeah.
back?
We'll take it off for a week and
Okay.
go from there. Yeah.
Okay. CS.
Gonna take it off. I'll be back though.
I'm buying that just so you guys know. Carvana.
So we do really well on this piece of crap, but I let's see.
Do you think
We had
five's
a
holding?
lot.
You think five's holding?
Yeah, I do. I do. Yeah. So because of that, I want to keep it.
What's your
I want to keep it
target? What's your target if five's holding?
7 to 8,
God damn it!
somewhere in there.
All right. I got just so you know, I got the five. If the five holds, 766 is the next level. It's that
Nice, nice.
shows strength. God damn it. Dino.
Gonna back out of oil for a minute.
Okay. Disney.
I I don't have a reason to hot list it, but I really like it down here. So 80, like it if it falls at 88 or something like that, which I guess it briefly did that Friday maybe. I'm gonna take it off, but definitely like this into the new year.
I think they have some pain coming.
Yeah,
Just because like they cover such a wide umbrella that when one thing in their umbrella gets hit, they don't care about anything else. Like there's a hole in the umbrella, and right now streamers
yeah,
are just getting hammered, Streamers are just getting just ran over. So I think these guys are going to bleed into ER. Around the next ER is when you're going to want to get in. 86 was the last low. Be mindful of that, but I'm with Pete. Kind of back away here for a little bit.
Yeah, I don't have a reason why 86 is going to hold in the
Yeah,
flow.
exactly.
But at the same time, I'm like, that's just stupid for Disney to be $86. But again, I stop myself from thinking like that, especially with hot list stuff. So yeah, we'll take it off.
Let's see. What is that? 320 is that COVID low? That's COVID low, isn't it? Is
Yeah.
is is 80. So I mean that's kind of I think that's where we're working back towards. DraftKings. You fucking called that too. $12. Here we are.
So, can you hear me?
Yeah. DraftKings.
Okay, cool. Yeah. All right. So DraftKings is kind of another one that I mean I like this to get to 14 or 16, but the flow's a little bit ugly right now, so I'm gonna stay away. But one to watch for sure.
Yeah, agreed. We just gotta me, however you want to put that, got to get better at taking the win. We played this thing back here to the 18. It flushed on ER, got it 16 again. Probably should have just took those dubs, let it reset.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
that's us though. Docu.
Yeah, there's just a lot of momentum here to 62 to 65 in January, so could pull back with the market a bit, but I don't think it's just going to give it all back. It's just too strong, so I like it.
Yeah, like it. I still like that too. Ego. Eldorado Gold.
I think it might be kind of a quiet week for gold. I'm gonna take it off.
Perfect. F.
Take the win.
Is it Fresh Point? Fresh Pet.
Fresh pet. Yeah, I didn't get what I was looking for, so I'm gonna wait.
Perfect. FTAI.
Really nice early week. No reason to keep it.
Last week wasn't easy, P. It wasn't.
Yeah.
A lot of charts like they barely showed any life, and then they just said, "No, not today."
Right. Yeah.
Fubo.
It's just below my areas. I still am interested in Fubo, but it needs to show me something. Flow is always pretty good on it, but the chart needs to show me something before I get back into it.
Yeah, it's becoming not day tradable, I think is the best way to put that.
Yeah.
IMAX.
Kind of no man's land flow wise. Think it's gonna probably dip back down, so I'll take it off for now.
With you. MGM.
Probably gonna get some consolidation for a bit. I'll take it off.
I'm going to Vegas this week and we're dumping casinos. God damn it.
Yeah.
MSTR.
Yeah, still like it as a downside play. It's
Yes.
It didn't come all this way to not test 150 again. Kind of how I'll put that.
What was our targets last week? I think I said 165.
Yeah, that was it. Yeah.
We getting there? We getting there?
Oh yeah. I think so.
Perfect. Yeah, let's keep that then. MS. I gotta put these on the list. Actually, that'll help. Otaka.
I'll take it off for now. I do. It's another one that I don't think it's going to give everything back, but could pull back a bit.
ORGN.
I'm gonna take it off. If it gets back to 5, I'll be interested.
Like it. PAAS. Silver.
Gonna pause gold and silver, so I'll take it off for now.
PTLO.
Given the flow I see on Eat and Cake and some of the restaurants, I do I think the setup here is still valid for it to get to 22 to 24. So this might take a little more patience though.
Yeah, I don't like talking too much about this one because I'm a total fanboy believer in it. But 18 to 22 is kind of my channel. The way it reacted Thursday and Friday to that 18 level, I do think we could get some relief back into that channel. Roblox.
So I'm going to take Roblox off only because the setup, the reason I put it on there happened. Then it sold off a lot more than I expected.
Yes.
While I wasn't in it. And now I'm just going to wait and see what happens with the flow from here.
Where are you like, let's go on Roblox? Or you just wait for the flow? That's going to be a flow situation.
Or $24.
Okay. I'm a buck above you, but same thing. RLX?
Yeah. RLX 250's holding pretty well. I think this is actually going to 4. So,
ooh,
right. Well, kind of like IQ, just sort of crazy gap ups possible.
I'm writing that one down. Sorry. You $1.50 on a $2 stock mention. Sorry, that's for me.
Yeah.
Run. Keep it in hot stove.
Yeah.
I like that one long term. Good solar play, to be honest. Stitch Fix.
I don't have a real flow reason to keep Stitch Fix right now, but chart wise, I mean, I guess as long as, what do you think, like the 320 ads or something like that, or 330?
We did that weekly candle EDU. I have 357, 420 range. You just play in there. Let's keep it in notes because it is getting tighter.
Okay. Yeah.
And I like that I got you cleaning this shit up this week, so I'm gonna roll with it. 6.
I think it's gonna break down and then reset, and then we'll go from there. So I'll take it off for now.
Okay. Snapchat. Bad Thursday, Friday.
Yeah. Love leaps on it. But the hot list is kind of a day trade thing.
Yes.
So I don't have a day trade reason to keep it. So perfect. I'll just put it in my notes.
Space.
Yeah, I still like ads under 5. We're definitely under 5. But yeah, I don't have a flow reason to keep it. Perfect. But we'll be back for it.
Perfect. STNG. Good God. What a chart. What a chart.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, it's likely to keep going. So
it's good on your option side too, I'm assuming.
It is, yeah. Yeah, I'll keep it. Kind of similar to Roblox for me. We're approaching an area where I would want to add this. But I don't know if I have a real reason.
How are you on the sector?
Metaverse sector. I think it could have a good January. Short-term pain.
Let's come back next week.
Yeah.
UEC.
Gonna back off uranium for a bit.
Okay. And then Workday.
Same with the use.
Yeah.
All right. So yeah, Workday. Yeah, this is another one that I'm just gonna take the win, but definitely one to watch. Seems destined to go ahead and claim that one. Set up for a move to 200. But we got time. I think it'll next week be back.
Perfect. Win. It's got that Crocs feel to me, but I need something on your end.
I still got hundreds on it for January.
Let's keep that one.
Yeah, we'll keep it.
Only Vegas doesn't hate me 100%. Yeti.
40 is likely to hold.
Agree.
And I got 48s to 52s.
We're gonna keep that one, P.
Yeah.
My morning,
Yeah, I like what we kept. So I think we trimmed it pretty well.
my morning press conferences are sponsored by them, so we gotta keep them on here. Did you get all the way through Read the Room?
I did, yeah.
Yeah, because we don't got much left. So I mean, the only ones I wanted to know your thoughts on. I mean, not really. If you didn't see anything, there's no reason to really go over all these. I kind of want to know what your thoughts just on Square and PayPal sectorish more, not individuals, just on what you're seeing there.
So start with Square. All right. So what I think on Square is my floor on it in the flow right now is 56.
Okay.
So that could happen this week, which would be a really bad week on it. But I think once the dust kind of settles, the longer term flow has it at like 75 or 80 for March. So I don't have a reason to trade it this week unless the outlook on the week kind of changes, but definitely want to return to these. PayPal, a little less so. Flow's a little bit uglier on PayPal. Could break down to 65 or 62, and don't have as many leaps on that.
So Square's the better setup.
Yeah.
Perfect. And how's Funko looking? That's kind of the only other one I'm super interested in.
Let me see here.
Just we kind of hit that 10. They switched CEOs, so they got rid of the guy that says don't buy our stock.
Right. Yeah. That's a good way to make your exit from a company.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, so it's May 15 and May 1750 over and over again. That's what they keep hitting.
Yeah.
So they see a recovery, want to give themselves some time on it.
Yeah, and that's just back into the gap. That's not even back to where we were.
Yeah.
Perfect. I would just keep an eye on that one then. The best part of the show, the last 5 minutes, I have two downside targets, which is Crowd and AFRM. Just both look like they're going to leg down.
Yeah, Firm's going to $8, I think, is what I have on it. Yeah, I'm total agreement there. Really, really ugly. Crowd. Yeah, I think Crowd's in some trouble. Could test 100 in the next
perfect
week or so.
You don't have anything beyond that, though, because it gets ugly under that. I assume that will hold, right? That's going to hold. It's going to try.
Yeah.
But it gets real ugly under that.
We saw Net do this.
Yes.
By the way, where it just had this kind of oversized move to the downside, and when some of those summer lows broke, it just utterly collapsed. So definitely possible. Yeah.
And I like Crowd. I do like CrowdStrike long term. AFRM to me is a joke.
Yeah.
Sweet. FCell ER, but I got $3.95 on that. Just kind of want to say it out loud so you know about it. Other than that, I'm good. P, you got anything else?
Yeah, semiconductors, really ugly flow. Yeah. Nvidia is about the worst flow I've ever seen. No, that doesn't mean it's gonna collapse, but going into the week, that's where it is. So that's gonna have to change before I have anything good to say about semiconductors.
Well, Nvidia went to like 100. Where's all the buyers then? You talk about it all the time. Like, where's the buyers when Nvidia's at 100? Why are you messaging me about it when it's at 170? Like, what the hell?
Yeah.
What the hell are we doing?
Right, because people see 170 and they start thinking 280, 300. Yeah. So yeah, it's that psychology.
Yeah.
Love it.
Perfect, perfect. Awesome. Well, I'm gonna get the notes out, get the videos out. Tomorrow I'll be here for the open, and then I leave. I leave about 7:30, 8 from my house, and then I'll check in every morning because those two drunk boys will probably be sleeping. Um, and then back Friday. So pretty light this
Yeah,
week.
my semester's done, so I'll be pretty active.
And I got
Throughout the day.
if you need any flow, I mean, still drop the flow reads because I have that set up so I can look at things, and
Oh, okay.
get you
Cool.
by level. So yeah, don't turn that off by any means.
All right, sounds good.
Awesome. Have a great day, P.
You too.